Hello, IT enthusiasts. Welcome to another episode of My Computer Careers, Get into IT Live, where we do just that, get into all things IT. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. Very nice to be back. Very nice to be sitting with all of us. And also very nice to be sitting with our special guest, who we'll certainly properly introduce here in just a minute. But before we do, as always, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, joining us on your Friday. And especially at the end of the year when everybody's kind of working towards the end of the year and the holidays, and hopefully really looking forward to decompressing if you can. But we're very glad to be here. Patricia, thanks for fixing Instagram so fast. Of course you do. As always, we're joined by Patricia. Patricia's out in the comment section. So if you have any questions for our guest today, please feel free to add them there, and we will certainly pass them along. And he will do what he can to answer those for you. So without further ado, our guest is Tony Galati. He is the founder and CEO of a little place called MyComputerCareer. And we couldn't be more glad to have him with us. To give the proper introduction, a career changer himself, Tony Galati is a graduate of the BYU Marriott School of Management and now revolutionizes vocational education in the U.S. through MyComputerCareer. Under his direction, MyCC has grown from one instructor and one small training center to a leading national institution with 9 in-person campuses and an expansive online learning program serving thousands. Tony, as always, it's great to have you here.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This kind of stuff is fun.
Agreed. And Tony, you joined us last year and kind of capped this broadcast. You are our year-end broadcast. So we thought it was a perfect opportunity to do that again. We've come a long way on this broadcast. We've come a long way at MyComputerCareer. And just thought it was a perfect marriage to have you back. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I also want to mention, and thanks for the introduction, This growth of my computer career isn't me. I have people who work with me who are a lot smarter than I am, who work extremely hard to take what we have and just make it better every day.
Hear, hear. And that makes a lot of sense, Tony. And certainly that's the case with our team and with this broadcast as well. Definitely not me. It's the big team around us. So I echo that all the way. So why don't we, thankfully there were a bunch of highlights in 2024 and that, a lot of blessings, many of which were centered around student successes, which is definitely where we want to lead things. So why don't we just jump right in?
Sure.
All right, let's have a little fun. Tony, we just celebrated nearly 1,200 graduates on Saturday from all of our programs, which is, as you know, a great big deal. In your remarks, you said, in your program, you might have had obstacles pop up, yet you stuck with it, overcame any fears, pushed through those obstacles and barriers, and here you are today where we can celebrate your success. Can you talk a little about why pushing through our programs and graduating is such an accomplishment?
Sure. Let me just start with an experience I had with one of my sons back when he was about ready to graduate from high school. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do next. And he came to me and said, looking for advice. I'm not sure what I should do next. I'm looking at going to college, but I don't know what I should study. I'm not sure what career I want. He was just looking for some direction. And what I told him was, excuse me, if you can, find something that includes all 3 of these. Do something that you enjoy, that contributes to society, or in some way truly serves your fellow men, that pays you well. Those were the 3 criteria. I said, most of us don't get those 3.
Right.
Most of us never have something that we can say, okay, yeah, it fits all 3 of those categories. In fact, I would say that most people don't get any of those. I would say most people are working in a job. It's just a job to them, that they don't feel like they're really serving their fellow men, that they feel like this is mostly just about money for the owner.
Right.
And that they're living paycheck to paycheck, especially after this economy and the experience we've had over the last several years. everything costs more. It's just so much more difficult now for people who are just in jobs that aren't in real careers. So looking for those three, and frankly, I think you and I are truly blessed because we have all three.
Right.
We're doing something we truly enjoy. We feel like we're truly contributing to society, and we're serving our fellow men the best we possibly can, and we're getting paid well. So I feel like we're truly blessed. I wish more people had that opportunity to feel that they had all three of those. But I've also been in a position where I didn't have all three of those.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a dishwasher in a restaurant. Well, actually, a couple of different experiences with being a dishwasher in a restaurant. I've worked at a gas station. I worked at a muffler shop. I've worked in those jobs, not career really, but those jobs that really weren't going to take me where I wanted to go, but at least I could put food on the table, kind of thing. But I got out of it. And the way I got out of it was I went to school. That's hard to do, especially when life is happening. So I went to college, spent 5 years getting a 4-year degree. During that time, I got married. I started having children with my wife. By the time we graduated, we had 2 children, 1 on the way. We had to take a break from school at one point because we didn't have insurance. So I had to find a job at a hospital so I could get a discount on having our first child born.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is it takes a lot to change your life. If you're in that position where you have one of those jobs that to you is just a job, it's not really a career that's going to take you somewhere. If you feel like you're not really serving your fellow men, you're just, again, doing a job and you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck, and financially it's never going to help you achieve your goals, then you're probably in the same boat I was in, that you really wanted to change your life. And changing your life is hard. And the thing is, life is not going to stop because you want to change your life. So like anything of great value, our program is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that the program is hard, it's just while you go through the program, life is going to continue to happen. So, and we see it on occasion. We'll have somebody who life takes a turn on them, and because of that, they drop out.
Right.
Oh, that's such a heartache for us to see that happen. That they let life get in the way, get in the way of them changing their life.
Yeah.
So, for those who are truly committed to their success and changing their life, they're not going to let life stop them. They're going to continue to pursue what's in front of them. So they have an awesome opportunity when they come here to go through something that is truly a life-changing event. And as long as they push through the obstacles, get around the obstacles that life throws at them while they're here, they'll get there. The first step is graduation. But obviously, much, much more than that. There's so much more to accomplish once they graduate. Of course, we help them with all of that. But that's the significance, I think, of not letting life get in the way of you changing your life. Get through the obstacles. Our graduates, almost 1,200 graduates the other day at that ceremony. That's what they did. There's not a one of them that didn't have something in their life that they could have said, oh, because of this, I'm not going to keep going forward. I'm going to drop out. Or even, you know what, I came, I saw, I thought about going to your school, but life is in the way. I'm not going to do it. They never even start.
Right.
Here we have about 1,200 graduates who came. They knew that it was going to be tough. They had things that are in their life that they could have said, nah, I'm not going to even try. They decided, no, I'm going for it. Right. They enrolled. They committed themselves. Life threw things at them while they were students. They continue to pursue, and here they are on the doorstep of changing their lives forever.
And folks, just so you know, Tony's lived it. You know, I've lived it, but Tony's lived it. He didn't just show up and was the founder of MyComputerCareer. You know, he was there with you. He changed his career. He changed his life. He changed his life. He found a career. And Tony, often you refer to these folks as warriors, and we've kind of adopted that on the marketing team. And every chance we get, we talk about the fact that our students and grads are indeed warriors because of what they overcome and go through to complete the programs.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. So speaking of graduation, actually, Dante over in the chat, why don't we hit this one? Dante says, Tony, I'll be discharging out of the military soon, thinking about going in person on Raleigh. I have clearance and was just wondering if the job placement will help me find a job using my security clearance. You got an answer for Dante?
Absolutely. Whether you're coming first, Dante, thanks for your service. And a transition from military life to civilian life, probably the hardest transition you can make when it comes to careers. So we know that. We know particularly those who are leaving military service and coming back into civilian life, they face a lot of obstacles in that change, very difficult career change. We know what it's like for you, and we have what it takes to support you in making that change, making it as easy as we can possibly make it, going through a career change like this. Our focus certainly is going to be on helping you find that first job in the IT industry. I'm assuming that coming out, you're not in IT in the military. So you're coming, like most of our students, the vast majority of our students, you're coming to us with no IT experience other than you've used a computer before.
Right.
So what we're going to focus on is helping you change in a more robust manner. This isn't just about coming to school, getting an education, and getting a job. When you come here, certainly you're going to get an education. You're going to gain a lot of knowledge, but you're also going to gain a lot of skills. And you're going to learn how to get your own job. And you're going to have a whole staff of people who are there to help you find that first job. And then those people stay with you to make sure that you don't just get a job, you change that into a career.
Right.
The difference between a job and a job, you're kind of stuck in, there's no place to go. A career, there's upward mobility, an ability to change and really control more of your life than your boss controlling your life. And that is what we do. We help you make that transition to a new career. So Dante, going to be excited to have you on campus.
Jump in, Dante. I think Tony's saying yes, take the leap if you're so
Absolutely.
inclined. Years ago, I'm to complete everything by the end of January. Okay. So, and Daniel, it looks like Daniel in chat agrees. I'm in the program now. I wish I did this years ago. I'm set to complete everything by the end of January. I can't wait. Daniel, big things coming for sure. Keep us updated on your successes. All right. Let's get back to graduation, Tony. So speaking of, in total, we had nearly 4,000 graduates all year, 3,892, up from 2,998 in 2023, which is a big number in and of itself. This group this year earned 6,000 IT certifications. So 3,800 people, 3,900 people earned 6,000 IT certifications. Mind sharing how it makes you feel to kind of see those lofty success numbers?
Sure. And by the way, they're not finished getting certs.
Right. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
When they graduate, they still have a period of time that we work with them to make sure they still pick up even more of those certifications that they studied while they were students. So yeah, that number is just going to rise. And it's super exciting to see so many people coming to us for a career change, a life change, and to have been able to do that. Let me share an experience. It might take me a minute or two to share this experience, but let me share this experience with you.
We have plenty of minutes, Tony, please.
Years ago, it was the first time I ever flew into LA, into Los Angeles. I'd never seen it from the air before. And as we flew into Los Angeles, I was kind of awed because I grew up in New Jersey, next to New York City. Everything's built up there. Everything's a skyscraper. Everything's tall. You fly into Los Angeles, and it's not like that at all. Instead, Los Angeles is built out. So when I looked out the window of the plane, as far as my eye could see, I could see nothing but humanity, nothing but houses and buildings as far as I could see. And I was kind of in awe. But my very first thought really brought my spirit down, kind of made me depressed. And it was, you're never going to be able to help all of those people change their lives. What you do is of little consequence. And that just really brought me down. And then immediately the parable of the talents from Matthew in the New Testament in the Bible popped into my head and immediately raised my spirits right back up. The idea behind the parable of the talents, and I'll put it in our language because biblical language is pretty tough.
Right.
It's kind of like this. I'm an employer. So I'm leaving town and I go to one of my employees and I say, hey, I'm going to give you $5,000 of my money. Take care of it while I'm gone. I go to somebody else and say, hey, I'm going to give you $2,000 of my money. Take care of it while I'm gone. And then I go to another person. Here's $1,000 of my money. Take care of it while I'm gone. And then I leave town. Sometime later, I come back into town and I go to the person to whom I entrusted my $5,000. Say, so what'd you do with my money while I was gone? And he says, oh, I worked really hard with it. I invested it. I doubled your money. Here's $10,000. And of course, I'm thrilled. I'm super happy. This person's getting a great reward.
Right.
I go to the second person. I say the same thing. I gave you $2,000 of my money. What'd you do with it? Oh, I worked really hard with it. I invested it. I doubled it. Here's $2,000 back. And I'm super thrilled. And I give that person the same reward that I gave the first person because it took just as much effort to double that money as it did the $5,000. Then I go to the third employee and I say, so I gave you $1,000 of my money. What'd you do with it? And the employee says, well, you know, I was kind of nervous and kind of worried. I was afraid I might lose your money. So I hid it. Here it is. Here's your $1,000 back. And that person gets fired. Well, the idea behind this parable, it's not really about the money. The idea was, I'm going to give you during your lifetime the opportunity to impact a lot of lives. I'm going to give you, as another person, an opportunity to impact more lives. I mean, some lives, but not quite as many as that person. But you're still going to have an opportunity to impact quite a few. And then I give to the third person, or God gives to the third person. You know what? You're not going to have much of an opportunity to impact very many people's lives. Maybe only your family and close friends.
Right.
But the opportunity we're given for the number of people doesn't matter. What matters is, what do we do with the opportunity we're given? And that's what the Lord is trying to teach us, is have a positive impact on those lives that I give you to touch. So for me, in my computer career, if we were still one small campus in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we impacted a few hundred people a year, or we're MyComputerCareer, that today is one of the largest IT colleges in the country, and we're impacting thousands of lives in a year, either way, the numbers really matter? Not so much. What really matters is, what are we doing with the opportunity? And I feel great that we are doing everything we can to positively impact the lives of our fellow men. That is so wonderful. Now, I will say, it's also awesome that we get to do it with a lot of people.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to do it with even more. But that really, as far as my computer career and the leadership of my computer career, yes, we want to grow. We want to be able to reach out to more people and help more of God's children change their lives for the better. But if we don't reach more, it's the quality that really matters to us.
Obviously, very well said, Tony. And we're looking at about 27,000 total graduates since 2007 when the doors opened. That's a whole bunch of folks. So yeah, very big deal. Very big deal. So yeah. To go a little further with students and grads, the MyCC Career Services team submitted more than 14,000 resumes on behalf of students and grads in 2024. That's a big number. So why is the Career Service team so important, and how do they support our folks?
Well, I've already mentioned, to us, it's not just about an education here. It is about a change of life, and the change of life really requires a change of careers. The MyComputerCareer Career Services team is probably one of the most important support systems that our students have and that our graduates have. Because most of our students, they don't know how to interview for an IT job because they didn't come from IT. Most of them haven't even actually interviewed in a professional way before. So it's important for our career services team to teach. They're teaching just like our amazing instructors are teaching IT. They're teaching how to write a good resume. They then help polish up those resumes that our students create. They teach how to have a good interview. And then they help polish up those through practice interviews, polish up those interviewing skills.
Right.
They teach people how to use their social media accounts
Yes.
to look professional, prepare themselves, because hey, you're going to come and interview at My Computer Career. You can bet that we're going to be checking your social media accounts to see what it looks like. Well, you have to be prepared for that when you're going and interviewing for an IT job to get that IT career started. So we're going to our career services folks, they teach that kind of thing. But then they work tirelessly, go out and beat in the bushes, looking for jobs that are available for our students. Often, like you said, submitting resumes for our students for those jobs, as well as transferring to our students job postings. So our students go out and post and submit their resumes for those postings themselves. So it's not up to the student to just go out there and figure out on their own how to get a job in the IT industry and then go out and try to find one. We have them working on it, and we have our career services team working on it. Together, we're very, very good at helping our students find that job. The first one is so critical because you have the resume when it comes to education and skills and certifications, but
Sure.
now you need to add more experience. You already have experience from us, from in the classroom, but now you need to add some real live experience to that resume. And once you add a little experience to that resume, opportunities really open up for you. And I'll
So,
take this just one step further.
yeah.
Well, I will say we don't really care who finds the job, whether it's our career services staff that finds it for you or you find it for yourself. We don't really care. Excuse me. What we care about is you actually get one to get
Right.
started.
Right.
And then our career services team is available to you for the rest of your career. So anytime you feel like, you know what, I need help finding that second job, that third job, that fourth job, whenever it is, 10 years from now, hey, I'm ready to move into this really upper echelon position within IT, but I need a little guidance here because it's a little bit out of my realm.
Yeah.
We are here. All we need is a phone call. We'll jump in it. We'll help you with whatever you need to help you find that next step in what has become the career that changed your life.
And that's such a really important reminder, Tony. It's not just your first job. It's your career and it's your next job. And if you decide you want to go for that promotion, we're here to help you, or take that other position. We're here to help you with that.
Yeah,
Reach
absolutely.
back out. And I will say, and I'm sure you echo this, in doing so many of, in having so many of these conversations with so many great folks, including the career services team, the number one way you can find success is communicating with that team. Do your part, work on your own behalf, and use them as support, but make sure you're communicating with them what you're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the keys, I think, for our alumni.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Not a problem, Tony. Grab some water.
We do have an alumni staff
Yeah.
who are constantly reaching out to our alumni to make sure they're in a position they want to be in.
Yeah.
So they're out there contacting folks. Hey, how did that first job go? Have you moved on to a second job? Do you feel like it's time to move on to a second job? Do you need help with it? Are you satisfied with your ability to take on the search for the next position? Whatever it might be. And on occasion we run into somebody who says, oh, you know what, I did get that first job, but then I kind of struggled. I really need some help right now. And they might even need some help brushing up on their IT skills.
Yeah.
So we help them with that, brushing up on those IT skills to make sure they're ready for that next position in the IT industry. We just reach out. If nobody's calling us, we're calling them.
Right.
To see what we can do to help out.
All right, so we're going to hit brushing up here and on skills here in just a little while.
Sure.
So let's kind of switch gears to our military efforts. Obviously, we're very connected. Preaching to the converted here. We're very connected to the military community, not only through our programs, but also through our support of military-related causes. 2024 was kind of a banner year around this effort for us in a number of ways. But let me lead with this effort. Our Cyber Warrior program was a very real focus for leadership and for My Computer Career this year. In fact, the program saw a 212% growth in enrollments year over year. Why was this such a focus? Why was CWP such a focus? And why is it resonating with service members?
Great questions. Certainly, the Cyber Warrior program, or CWP, is at the forefront of our focus right now. We are working very hard to expand that program. And there are a lot of really great reasons why we want to expand our Cyber Warrior program. First, of all programs that we have ever had at My Computer Career, and we've been great at what we do. We always have been great at what we do. But of all the programs we've ever had, our students, our graduates from the Cyber Warrior program have greater success than any program we've ever run. For example, it's a short program.
Right.
And frankly, that's what our students are looking for. We talk about, I'm sorry, was his name Doug that was transitioning out of the...
I believe it was Dante.
Dante, thank you. Dante's making this transition from being a literal warrior to wanting to become a cyber warrior. Well, that transition, like we talked about, is a difficult one, but he also doesn't want to come out and spend the next 5 years getting that 4-year college degree that may or may not take him where he wants to go. He wants to come out, get what he needs, and get in that industry, get going, moving in that career. Well, our programs are designed that way. The Cyber Warrior program, depending on whether you do it during the daytime or in the evening, depending on whether you're working a full-time job or you can go to school full-time, it's going to run somewhere between 12 and 24 weeks in length. Nice, short, concise, get what you need, get out there, get moving. That's one of the benefits of the Cyber Warrior program. We can get them what they need as quickly as possible to get them out there and performing. Another thing that we see in the Cyber Warrior program is our graduation rates are just through the roof.
Yeah.
It just seems like almost everybody that goes into the program graduates. That is incredible for any college, any school, anywhere. To have graduation rates that are in the mid and upper 90s% is just flabbergasting. It's that good. But that's what we're getting with our Cyber Warrior program. Our graduates are graduating with more certifications than any program we've ever had. Putting those certifications on your resume is super important. It tells those potential employers, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
I have the skills that I need to be able to advance and do what you need me to do. So they are getting more certifications in a very short period of time than any other program we've ever had. Our placement rates with the Cyber Warrior program are better than any program we've ever had. I mean, it's just amazing to me. The benefits to our students with the Cyber Warrior program are just so outstanding. Not only are the placement rates the highest we've ever had, the average salary for our graduates of the Cyber Warrior program is higher than any program we've ever had. So all in all, whether they're military or non-military, the Cyber Warrior program has great success. And by that I mean our students are having great success. Of course, the Cyber Warrior program also appeals a great deal to our veterans, those who are coming out of the military, those who've already been out for a while and need to make a career change now into something else. The Cyber Warrior program is a great appeal to our currently serving and our veterans, in part because of all the success that I just talked about. But the idea of having served in the military as a warrior, as the defense for all of us and for our nation, to now transition into something that can lead to, now I'm defending our country in a different way. Now I'm defending these companies in a different way. Now I'm defending these individuals in a different way through IT.
Yeah.
That has a great appeal.
So Patricia just shared the link, by the way, folks, if you want to see for yourself kind of what the program's about. And just a couple other quick points. It's live led for those of you wondering, because I know that's important. It's DoD Skill Bridge approved. And it is for there are several folks in the program. Your instructors, a lot of those folks are veterans. So created by veterans for folks like you. So you're speaking kind of the same language. And we've heard those things are important.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm glad you brought that up, particularly the Skills Bridge program. That is such a great program where those who are currently serving can actually get this education and skill set, et cetera, before they even leave the military. During that last portion of their service, they can actually be attending and going through this program. And frankly, those who do that have even more success. So super excited about that.
Well, speaking of military, and I'll just mention this for folks if you want to go watch it. Tony, other members of the leadership team, and some of our amazing grads were featured this year in a 30-minute special on Lifetime. It was called Operation Career. And Tony, really, a lot of what you heard there, he echoed. We went a little further. We talked to a lot of folks about what the program means, what the impact has been. And it was kind of a real highlight, especially for the marketing team, but also just for us to be able to tell that story. So that's available on YouTube. Go check it out. If you're interested in kind of learning more, you can get a lot there. All right, Tony, let's switch gears again. You know, that's the beauty of this platform. I'm all over the place. The conversation around skills training, skills-based hiring, it's louder than it's ever.
I'm sorry, Aaron, can I interrupt for a second?
You can, please.
Before we leave the Operation Career on Lifetime, I just want to mention that is hosted by Montel Williams.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
He is awesome. This man, for those of you who have not met him, he spent 22 years in the Marines and in the Navy. And after he left the military, he continued to serve those who serve and has done a great deal throughout his career and has had a great impact on, of course, on a lot of people, but on our veterans and those who are currently serving. I respect him a great deal. He called us and asked us to be part of the Operation Career on Lifetime because he's familiar with us. He knows us, and he knows our commitment to serving those who serve. And I think he also equates MyComputerCareer with career change. Yes. So it just makes sense that if you're doing a broadcast on Lifetime about Operation Career, that you would reach out to the career change experts, MyComputerCareer, which he did. And we're very grateful to have been a part of that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you said that, Tony. And it only featured us. It only featured us for that 30-minute episode. And we've worked with Montel and the crew previously on all of the military makeovers we were a part of. So it's been a rewarding experience, that whole partnership. And I'm glad you called that out. All right. So skills training, skills-based hiring. Conversation is loud. You've written a couple of articles on it this year on the importance of, talking about the having access to alternate pathways for education and higher ed. The White House just launched a skills-based hiring initiative to help close the cybersecurity gap. Organizations, of all sizes are working on adjusting some of their hiring practices to eliminate the degree requirement and concentrate on skills-based hiring. It's coming a little slower than we'd like to see, but it is moving along. And that's to accommodate 70 million skills warriors out there that do not have traditional degrees. Why do you think this conversation is so loud?
I think there's an overall greater focus on the trades than there has been in the past. And let me address that, and if you don't mind, and then kind of work our way into cyber and how that affects us and our students. There was a time when our community colleges were trade schools. They help people get right into a job. Come here, get in a short amount of time the skills that you need to be able to get out there and perform in some kind of trade.
Absolutely.
Over the years, that has changed. So today, our community colleges are more a stepping stone to a 4-year degree. So you go to your community college to get that first 2 years out of the way, and then you go to a 4-year college or university to get the rest of your education. That's really what, and I'm not speaking for all community colleges, obviously, but as an industry, that is what's happened. So the trades were kind of neglected. And because of that, there's been a great rise in private schools to fill that void so people can come get the skills they need, get the training they need, and then get out there performing in those trades. Frankly, I look at IT and cybersecurity as a trade.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to go to college for 5 or 6 years to get that 4-year degree, or even if it's 4 years, that may or may not serve you well when you want to get out. Frankly, colleges and universities are a little slow to change. It's almost like working with the government. You talked about this initiative, and yeah, it hasn't moved along quite like we had hoped. Well, of course, it's run by the government. What would you expect?
Yeah.
Well, colleges and universities are often like that. They're a little slow to change. It reminds me of a CBS broadcast. The reporter asked if he could do a walkthrough on one of our campuses down in Dallas. And I remember the final report and watching this on TV, and he was out in front of our school, right in front of our MyComputerCareer sign, and he was talking about the cybersecurity jobs that are available, and there simply aren't the people there to fill them. Mm-hmm. And that this is only growing. This is years ago. Yep. And he said, this is only going to grow. And this great dearth of qualified, skilled people to fill these jobs is just going to expand. Thank goodness, he turned around and pointed at our sign. He said, thank goodness for schools like MyComputerCareer who are ahead of the game. They're already teaching cyber skills ahead of the game. We have been ahead of the game. Well, we see it today. Today, the cybersecurity need is vast. We have more cyber threats now. I mean, that's increasing exponentially, whether that be cyber threats to you as an individual, to companies, to the government. Everything today is affected by these cyber threats. So the cybersecurity need is massive. Well, because of that, hey, where can we find the most people, as fast as we can possibly get them, who are educated and skilled? Well, you turn to people like us, schools like us, colleges like us, who have these short programs and get people up to speed as fast as possible and get them out there to try to fill that void of the cybersecurity need. I think that's where it came from, and I'm just grateful that we're in a position to help fill some of that void.
And Tony, you're the first to say there's still value, obviously, in traditional higher education. But
Absolutely.
We are at a point where people are looking for alternatives. And whether that's an IT trade school or just a trade school, carpentry, plumbing, whatever it may be, people want the options. And you know, being a provider and helping people move into those careers that they're looking for faster, more affordably, all the things that you know, that's rewarding. And that skills gap, of course, is growing. I think it's up over 500,000 in cybersecurity now, and it continues. I think it's like 515, if I remember correctly. So very big deal. Yeah. All right. Continuing on this path, you were recently featured in Forbes as an innovative educational leader. In the article, you said, and you know, this may be kind of redundant, but I think it's important to repeat. One of my least favorite misconceptions about higher education is that a bachelor's degree or higher is necessary for a fulfilling career. Do you mind expanding on that a little bit, or do you think we touched it?
I can touch a little bit more on that. I think I once had a student who came to me and he said, my son is about to graduate from high school. Should I tell him to come to this program? Because I mean, he was in the program and he was doing very, very well. He was super excited about what he was able to do. So he was saying, and maybe I should just tell my son, if you want to get into IT, just come to this school, skip out on college. And at the time I told him, you know, if I were you, if he wants to go to college and he can go to college, send him to college, because if he doesn't go now, he'll never do it. So send him now while he has the opportunity. It'll help him get a little well-rounded. And then when he gets that IT education, then he can come to our school and get the skills that he needs, get the certifications that he needs to get into the industry. And he was very appreciative of that. Today, I back off on that a little bit, simply because the need is so great. Spending the time and the cost, the expense, may be a little bit more difficult than it's been in the past. And because of the growth of skills-based hiring, skills-based education, along with the certifications, has simply grown significantly today. So I think I don't think the need is there like it used to be to go to college and get a degree. Certainly the need is not there. It's up to really the desire of the individual, what kind of package they want to present. I'll just leave it at that.
No, really well said. And, even at the high school level, you're coming out of high school and you have that big decision, college decision day. And if, that student in the back of their head is thinking, I don't think college is right for me, or I'm not sure it is, explore other paths, because there are very viable paths like MyComputerCareer or others that help you. All right. Having a little fun. I'm enjoying our trip down memory lane. Let's get back to it a little bit. Some real accomplishments for MyCC. It's not all about us, but we're on our broadcast. There's a few things we certainly will highlight. We earned EC Council's Circle of Excellence Award, their highest award. Our HR team was named the Team of the Year by the Merit Awards over some pretty heavy hitters like Cisco. We were named a top 10 military-friendly school, which actually the military-friendly folks just reshared on LinkedIn, and we posted it on our page. Go check it out. Military-friendly company, military-friendly employer, checking all of those boxes. That's a very big deal to earn those. But we also kind of redefined and worked on kind of launching what we've tabbed Upskill Academy, and that's for working IT professionals. And I know that was a real effort for you, Tony, and for the team. Do you mind talking about this undertaking and why it was so important for both us and for working pros?
You bet. How much time do I have?
Well, I'll say plenty.
Upskill Academy is very exciting for us. We have always been, I think, the college of choice when it comes to people who need to make a career change, who have not been in the industry and want to get into the IT industry. Well, during that time, we've also had many who were already in the IT industry, but they needed to upgrade their skills and they needed to upgrade their certifications. So they came to us also. But there are also many in the IT industry who aren't looking for a program as long as our programs are today. Even 12 weeks or 24 weeks might be something that they're really not looking for. They're looking for this skill.
Right.
They're looking for this certification that is going to help them furthering in their careers, perhaps even helping them on their current job. Upskill Academy is really designed for the IT professional. Always in the past, we've been reaching out to career changers. IT professionals, they came if they wanted to.
Right.
It's time for what I believe is the best choice there is for an IT education, hands down, to also help those who are already in the IT industry that need help in a different way. And that's what Upskill Academy is for. It is for the IT professional to help them in whatever way they see fit. Do they need a skill? Do they need a group of skills? Do they need a certification? Do they need a group of certifications? How can we help them in their current job? How can we help them get promoted to the next job? That's what IT Academy, this new Upskill Academy, is all about. Upskilling the way you want it.
And we've shared all kinds of stats, folks, on our channels, and we've shared, through that team, how important in 2024 and beyond, both upskilling and reskilling is for hiring managers and for team leaders. It is a very, very real focus, especially in IT. And for me, I'm in PR, so I speak in superlatives. It's more important than it's ever been. And we now have offerings, educational offerings for the entire student. We have a program that will get you into IT. We have programs that will help you advance in CSE, CSS, CSE, and our associate program. And now we offer a complete program for folks working in IT. So robust. We have a very robust offering, which makes it easy for me.
And just to go backwards a second, I do want to just make a comment. Getting military-friendly school, being in the top 10 of military-friendly schools is great because it means we're being recognized for our efforts.
Mm-hmm.
We truly want to serve those who have served, and that is our greatest accomplishment, I think. And so to be recognized as one of the top 10 military-friendly schools, a military-friendly business, military-friendly employer, over the years we've earned pretty much every military-friendly identification that there is, I think. And I also want to highlight our human resources team. For them to get #1 in the merit awards, that is so awesome. I'm so proud of our human resources team. Way to go. Our education team, EC Council Circle of Excellence. I mean, everywhere you look, there's somewhere in My Computer Career, some department in My Computer Career that is being recognized for truly how committed they are to the success of our students and our employees, and the success of those individuals.
And those aren't just participation trophies, by the way. Those are based on actual merit. For example, the Military Friendly Award, especially the Schools Award, just so everyone knows, that's a 60-page nomination. And that includes all kinds of data. That's not just something they hand out. So we're certainly proud of that one. Yeah. Okay. Really well said. All right, Tony, 2 more questions and you're out of here.
Okay.
All right. We ask this question towards the end of every conversation that we have with our grads who join the broadcast. We're going to include you in that group.
All right.
What do you say to that person who is on the fence about joining My Computer Career?
Okay, so I would answer that for 2 different groups. Those who are thinking about joining My Computer Career as an employee, and those who are looking at joining My Computer Career as a student. And I think both are impacted by our core values. We have 4 core values. We are ethical in everything we do. Certainly, we have to be legal, right, in everything that we do. But we take it that one step further. We need to make sure that we are ethical in everything we're doing. And so if there's any question as to whether something is ethical or not, we discuss it amongst our leadership to make sure that we're not stepping out of our comfort zone of being completely ethical. And that means how we're treating our vendors, how we're treating our employees, how we're treating our students, our prospective students, whoever we touch, whatever decisions we make. We want to make sure that we're doing everything above board, everything is ethical. We don't do anything unless we believe, and this is our another core value, our second, we believe that we don't do anything unless we can do it with excellence. So if we look at something and feel like, yeah, we could do that, it might even make us some money, but we don't think we could be very good at it, well, we're not going to do it.
Right.
We're only going to do it if we believe that we can do it with excellence. In everything we do, this is another one of our core values, we believe in putting our customer first. So for me, that means the people I'm serving within My Computer Career, I need to put them first. I expect the leadership within My Computer Career to put those they serve as employees first. We have to put our prospective students first. We have to put our students first. Our customer, whoever they might be, whether they be an employee, prospective student, an alumni, we put them first and their concerns, their needs above our own. And finally, and perhaps the most important of our 4 core values is love. we believe that we have to treat everyone with love. If we truly take the command to love our neighbor to heart, that we will love our neighbor. And again, that doesn't matter what customer that is, whether it's our manager, our employee, our prospective student, our student, a vendor, a neighbor. We just believe that we need to express love to everyone. And so if we can demonstrate that love through how we approach them, how we serve them, whether they're our student or our employee, it's the same. We're going to take all four of those core values and try to use those in every decision we make when it comes to touching somebody's life. We believe also in our mission to change lives. We're extremely good at changing the lives of our students. When they come here because they're not satisfied with where they are and they want to get here. And so it's our focus to help them achieve that life-changing goal. That also goes for changing the lives of our employees. We want them to have a great experience here. We want them to be able to grow, to learn, to advance here at MyComputerCareer. So I think certainly there are a lot of positives I could talk about when it comes to the education skills, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it all boils down to this. We have a mission that we're truly focused on, and we have core values that direct how we achieve that mission. So if you're looking at MyComputerCareer and joining MyComputerCareer as a student or as an employee, you can expect those things from us.
So, Tony, this is, we've had a great conversation. I think we touched on so many important topics. Why don't we take a look ahead? What are you looking forward to most in 2025, if you don't mind?
The growth of the Cyber Warrior program, for one. Like I said before, the success of that program, the student success out of that program is just so rewarding. I am looking forward to growing that program and reaching even more people and helping them change their lives for the better in such a magnificent way, in a magnificent program. We are also just barely tapping into some international opportunities.
Yes.
I'm super excited about that. I just can't wait to be able to impact people in other countries the way that we've been able to serve here, our fellow men here. So that's super exciting for me to see that. I think we're also going to grow with the number of employees. Now, for me, that makes me nervous, right? Because I take that serious, that I'm now responsible for Aaron and Aaron's family. I'm now responsible for the 460, whatever it is, employees and their families that we currently have. And as that family grows, my responsibility grows with it. So that makes me nervous. Yeah. To add more people and more families for whom I feel some responsibility. But at the same time, we're offering more opportunities to more people to grow and to have exciting careers that hit all three of the points that I talked about earlier. They're going to do something that is very gratifying because they're working with MyComputerCareer and they're changing lives for a living. How could you ask for anything more? You get paid well to do it, and you're truly having an impact on the children of men. So I'm excited for all of that.
Yeah. So what a perfect place to put a bow on it. We had the chance to look back on the year. We had a chance to focus on student success, which is where we're going to lead everything. And we had a chance to kind of talk about next year a little bit. And I think that was, that was really important to kind of highlight and cap off 2024. We do have Justin over on LinkedIn that Patricia just shared. I'm a current student who is at the midpoint. I'm so thankful I decided to come to MyCC. I feel as a student, my life has already drastically changed. I have 3 certs under my belt. I didn't have those before, and that's thanks to my instructors and the program. I can say the program definitely works. And by
Awesome.
the way, 3 exclamation points.
Great to hear from you, Justin.
Thank
I'm
you so much.
excited for you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for that share. I'm sure that we'll use that later. All right, Tony, how'd we do?
I had a great time.
So did I.
Anytime I could talk about my computer career and the exciting things that we're doing and our students and our employees, I'm happy. So it's gonna make for a great day.
Amen. What do you say we have you on next year at the same time?
Love it.
Looking forward to it. All right. What am I looking forward to most in 2025, folks? Being back here with you. Our team loves doing these. A little bit of work goes into it, but it's certainly worth it because of what we get out of it. And it's for comments like Justin's and for Dante and answering your questions and having these kind of conversations with passionate folks like Tony. It really kind of changes the perspective and drives home why we're all here. So, Tony, thank you for joining us today.
And thank you, Aaron. This has been awesome. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. And everyone else, thank you as well. We are off for the next 2 weeks, so we're going to do it again in January. And we're certainly looking forward to starting fresh then. So we're not
Merry Christmas, y'all.
We're not going to talk to you ahead of time. So have an amazing holiday season, everyone. And we will see you here next year. Tony, thank you so much. And if you don't mind hanging around.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, folks.